Yes, sir, you've always been at the forefront when it comes to innovation. And with your new venture, you're making music industry ready for the future. So first, congratulations for your new venture, that's KATRAAR, which is a metaverse platform that will enable musicians to monetize their work. That means a singer can upload his or her song on that platform and make money from it. Please tell us more about it.
See, the music industry, from no copyrights to arm twisting artists to so many different things, and getting 360 deals from artists, and then the survival of the fittest. Look, people who are talented they get left out, and then people are buying views. There's so much of things happening. The whole game has changed, and then suddenly you find something called NFT and empowering crypto stuff which comes in. It directly connects the artist to whatever they can gain and secure their lives. Because the artist's life is very volatile. You don't have, it's either you achieve so much. It's much better now. Before it was like in my movie 99 song, they says like, if somebody asks what do you do, and they say a musician, but no, what do you do? Second question. And internationally, everybody keeps asking this without even knowing that it's such a great profession. People earn a lot of money. At the same time, they can also be sidelined. So KATRAAR, when I heard about crypto, when I heard about when Hedera came to me and they said they want to do something like this and a portal, I was like, we can try many things. You never know what's going to click, and our intention is right. And I feel like if one such thing happens and people because in the modern world anything can change, and if they get empowered, imagine the kind of things they could do. It could go straight into art, and the parameters of art is not defined. It could be anything, which surprises which you can get. And so the definition of art is becoming like more rigid now and becomes too claustrophobic. A song or a lyric or a tune or an orchestral piece or even a lecture on raga. So many things I ideated, it's like, why can't we do things which, for instance, there are so many classical musicians who have this hereditary knowledge about certain bandishes and tumris. If they die, they take their art with them, the compositions with them, the style with them, unless they get a great student who's going to continue the lineage. Whether it's Rajasthan or Tamil Nadu or Kerala or Andhra or Bengal, I think we have so many things to preserve that I felt like even a teacher from a Gharana, his last recording of that particular bandish or tumri is an NFT. That is for the future. That is for their family. Maybe he didn't buy houses and he didn't secure his wealth, but he or she, but that could secure the children who can continue their. So many ideas are there, and we felt that if we can direct, we can go and put the road in the right way so people don't get exploited. So that's the idea.
We are very excited about it. Also, voice cloning is the next big innovation which is being talked about right now. It means a musician can save his or her voice, and with the help of artificial intelligence, it can be programmed and can be used in the future. It simply means tomorrow, if you store A. Rahman's voice in a platform like KATRAAR, and a filmmaker wants to use A. Rahman's voice, say after 100 years from now, he can use it.
Yeah, I think whether it's an avatar in a volumetric captured, somebody like an icon like a Rajinikanth or Amitabh Bachchan ji, and or Kamal Hassan, like a Charlie Chaplin. If you had Charlie Chaplins, now people are also with the images, they're recreating those icons, digital. Michael Jackson. Yeah. So it's fascinating to see that, but my only worry is people might also misuse things. They put words in your mouth which you don't want to sing. So it's a very complicated word unless it's defined by the right people. And if you don't, create the future, somebody else is going to create it. So that's one of the reasons why I jumped in. Not that I'm hungry for tech and everything, but I felt like nobody's doing it before it goes to the wrong hands. Let's try doing that stuff.
Also, congratulations for your directorial debut. You directed your first film titled Lee Musk, which was highly appreciated when it was screened at Cannes. The film tells the story of a little girl named Juliet and her journey. To you, what was the most challenging part of directing Lee Musk?
There was suddenly self-doubt, like, what am I doing? It felt like suddenly you're into something, and there are like hundreds of people, extras, and some of the world's best cameramen in Rome, and you're suddenly feeling, oh my God, am I directing? Is it a joke? But I think because I've done it, I did a previs, and I made sure that I'm capable of doing it. I did a whole exercise before. So that led me to the confidence when people ask me questions. There were some challenging questions, like daunting questions, which I got from the actors. So I had to tell them in a way where they felt confident that I would be able to handle the show. A day before, all of them kind of ganged up and said, oh, this is not right. This is not how you do it. I said, you're talking about another system. This is another system. Nobody knows the system, and I've taken the courage to start, something like that. This is 360 VR. I've done the previous. You can watch it, and that's the testimonial thing. So I had to deal with so many different. And I asked Mani Ratnamji, like, do actors do that to you? Always say, yeah. They won't say this dialogue, and they say, I can't do this, and you have to just explain to them. I said, okay. I felt like I was cornered and bullied.
This is, of course, a VR film. So, what was your big learning from Lee Musk?
My intention was, like, why do we always have to copy the West? Why do we not do something not just for money, but for passion to set a new path? And that actually kind of made me work very hard. I became like a maniac. I would be watching for 4 hours, and I got even vertigo. And my wife said, what are you doing? Again, watching VR. I was watching every clip to make sure that I should not do certain wrong things, like, moving the camera and making people dizzy. And because everybody said, like, beyond 5 minutes, VR won't be working. And then now we have a 37-minute film where people are saying, oh, it's only 15 minutes. And some of them will say, they take it out and said, I take this headset out and all I see is disappointment. I want that beautiful word which you've created, kind of thing, So just, of course that, this is not I kind of want to go to a different place after this, go more into, since I know that certain things are working, one more deeper into certain kind of characters which you don't see, because in 2D filmmaking, it's all very loud, and because people are watching from a distance. If you do the same thing in VR, it'll just freak you out. Yeah. It's like somebody coming and shouting or playing a trumpet in your ear so close. So everything has to change, and even the subtle, even eye moving, is so powerful, immersive.
I saw the very cool camera angles in it. Yeah. But is there now a plan to make another movie with this format, or now you want to make a feature film?
No, I don't have any interest in. I've got a lot of stories, kind of, ideas of stories, maybe around 5 or 6, which I feel like, but it's very exhausting to do a 2D film, get the people and fighting with the finance and this but those ideas are, I feel like they're very special. And whenever the time comes, and whenever maybe my children, if they grow up and they want to make films, I'll just give those ideas to them. But I'm happy, like, for virtual reality, I think, like what I want to take some of the Indian culture and present to the to the world in a way which they've never seen. Wow. Because like our classical dance and our the spiritual aspect of which is concerned with mental health, and those are the things, because you have such an immersive experience with VR, is that there's a possibility that you can excel in that, and even if you get something out of it, it's going to be a big game changer.
What's the plan to release it in India?
It is an English film. It is made for international audience. Not that Indians should not watch it, because I didn't want to be questioned, the story is like this and that, and so I just felt like why confuse them with this, so that, because their expectation is always like a commercial movie, not everybody, and their questions would be, I don't think it would be appropriate. I mean, I'm just imagining. Some of them watched and they've given some kind comments, like Rajinikanth. He watched it and he's so ahead of the game. He was like, he was blown away. He took the stuff and started hugging me and, you did this.
Wow.
He could never imagine me as a filmmaker. He's always seen me as a musician. And he was like, for half an hour he was just discussing about the movie. He was very kind. And Mani Ratnamji watched it and he had so many beautiful things to say. And that was very, very, kind.
Maybe he wants to give you a next movie to direct.
No.
No?
No, I love music, and if it's connected with music, I will do that stuff. And
we are celebrating Republic Day this week. Your film Dil Se, which will be completing 25 years in August later this year. Dil Se's soundtrack is like that textbook that each time when you read it, you find something new. I discovered something very new recently when I was listening to the album of Dil Se. The song Satrangi Re talks about the 7 stages of love, which actually, if you see, it encapsulates the film story and the journey of Amar, the character played by Shah Rukh Khan. How that song came into being with such a deeper meaning. I read somewhere that it has some influence of Arabic culture.
No, actually, what happened was, I think we finished Bombay, and then Maniji Iruvar also, I think. And so Maniji once, he came and he said like, what is the next story? I said, I won't tell you the story. I said, why sir? I'm just going to give you a hint. Write a song about 7 stages of love. And then he said, he showed like, attraction, seduction, death, and birth and everything.
Infatuation.
Infatuation, yeah. So he gave that stuff and I like freaked out. I said, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, this, you're not limited by who's acting in it, who's writing it, and it's like giving a whole space. So you've given me freedom to interpret. And I thought it's going to take ages to write that song. But it was written like in 1 hour. So I found this like rhythm pattern of a guitar, and then when that happened, I just started, there were like in most 10 stages in it, which I chopped it and put it as a 7th stage, because it ends as a death thing. So what I thought was going to take loads of time finished like very quickly, and he liked the whole thing. And every song was like that. I had, I think Dil Se was, I usually jam and keep certain things, and I always think I'm going to do another album after Vande Mataram. And it was done for that. And then I said, no, this is a Mani Ratnam song. I played him and he loved it as usual.
Yeah.
And then it was Meethi Re, and then I said, why don't we put the title? And then Gulzar Sahab said, yeah, that's a good idea. Dil Se Re. Then the song came. And then Chaya Chaya was again for Vande Mataram. I wanted an extra song, and I asked Vikwinder, can we do a song on a Sufi song kind of a thing. And so we were jamming with Baba Buleshas, jamming, and then finally it was 1 year in the box, and nobody even, because we didn't use it finally, because it felt like it was out of the. Then Maniji said, I'm doing this. I said, I have a song for you. And he heard it and said, I'm going to film it on a train. Straight away, he heard it, I'm going to film it on a train. And that happened naturally. So like that, it fell on, and then when I saw the movie, it was glorious. And, yeah.
Rahman sir, you always have said that visual inspires you a lot. I want to ask you, have you recently, or in your 30-year-long journey, where you watched a movie, which you're just watching it to enjoy, and you find a scene where that inspired you to compose a song for that scene, which is you're not working on that movie? Has it happened?
Yeah, I think Delhi 6.
Yeah.
Delhi 6, I watched the movie, I was scoring it, and there was one song left. He said, when they're driving the car, I want a song. It's a bit song. So that bit song was actually Natu.
Oh.
So I said, there's no song. The movie talks about, I'll accept you the way you are. And so immediately went to Rakesh and Prasun, they were there. I said, can we do a song like this? And Prasun was like, all songs are over, man, or something like that. And Rakesh is always like, yeah, let's try it. And so this song came in, and of course they'd finished the edit by then. So they put it on the, when it released, people started shouting, why did you put that beautiful song in that thing? Because it came late. Because I got inspired by the movie, and the scenes, and then got the song. So that's one song I would say, and many other songs actually.
Talking about Renatu, if you go to Spotify and type Bollywood jazz, it'll show a playlist with A.R. Rahman's image on it.
Really?
Yeah, and these songs are there on the playlist, like Aise Na Dekho from Ranjana,
Yeah.
Tu Bole from Jane Tu Ye Jane Na, Renatu from Delhi 6, and Mera Naam Kiji. Is that the genre you enjoy the most, jazz?
Jazz is every musician, right? It's a kind of trip to play jazz, because when you go deeper in music, whether it's Hindustani or Carnatic or classical music, you want to be challenged and you want to find, which unfortunately you can't run your kitchen. I love the form jazz, but it can't, because you become so involved, indulgent in it, that you will start refusing to accept any other forms of stuff. You feel like it's lame. And I've felt that, and I took a conscious decision to switch. I said, this is not going to, I want to build a studio, and I want to make, the best sound equipment. I want to do an album, and so jazz is not going to do that. I can't play in a hotel, in a bar to get that money. Movies are the only way. I'll just have to switch a little bit, adjust to what they cater, and then I'll off. So it's like a passion which is on the sideline.
Let's talk about your music process. How often, or have you ever had a false start to a song, especially while selecting the tone for a song?
Many times.
Yeah.
But I think unlike an independent album or something, we have a whole team which vibes to a tune. Like when the director comes in, and sometimes they said, "Oh, can you do something else?" And sometimes I'll just hum with a keyboard or loop, or sometimes I just play on the piano. And like Gajini song,
Wow.
that one came like a piano. I just played it on the piano.
Yeah.
So those chords came, everything. Then Satish Chakravarti was assisting. I told him, can you take this melody and get a voice on it, put a click onto that.
Yeah.
He did that, and he said it's ready. And then I went back and heard it. I said, oh my God, what is this?
Wow.
And even now, I think some people from abroad, some of the producers say, well, you should make an English song out of it. And I've never heard a melody like that, and so it's cool.
Wow. Sir, after spending 3 decades and having championed all the genres of music, you've been giving hit tracks after hit tracks. Which songs, lukewarm response, have disappointed you, and how you dealt with it?
For which one?
Any song in your were there songs whose response disappointed you, and you felt, oh, that should have worked, and
No, the disappointment only comes to me if I underwork on a song.
okay.
If I don't mix it properly, if I feel like I need a string section, but I just let it out to go without a string section.
But that only you know. The rest
Yeah,
of
but
us-
then, so the rest of the stuff I'm not that bothered. Of course, when people pay money and in a movie doesn't work, they get disappointed. For me, if I'd underworked on a song, if I had not given my 100%, knowing that it never happened. So mostly, if the deadlines are not close, I go back to it again and again and again till I'm happy with it, and till the magic comes to that one. It's sometimes removing things, sometimes changing a voice, and changing an antra, or sometimes scrapping and doing a new song. So that
have you ever scrapped a song?
Yeah, many
After
times.
with vocals?
Yeah, many times.
Tell us which one.
Like some South Indian movies, we've heard, no, I'll do a better song. Even Tum Saato, actually, I've scrapped 2 songs to get to
Oh.
Tum Saato.
would
I mean,
love that
I've
song.
told the story many times. But
Yeah.
director liked the song, and I said, can you do a better song? He said, if you think so, I like this tune. He said, no, I want something which is simple. And it depends on the director. Like, if we have a very friendly connection with them, then you want to give them the best, whether it's Imtiaz Ali or Mani Ratnam or Ashutosh or Rakesh.
Sir, after achieving so much success, name and fame, does success make a singer more or less free as an artist?
Actually, yes. If you look at a singer is actually the one who's going to go do concerts, and people recognize the song with the singers.
Yeah.
Music composer comes second only, and especially you see now singers who are doing amazing tours all over the world. It's a renaissance. golden age for music. And there's so much love they get. And yeah.
Talking about the golden age, when was the last time you composed something for yourself, not just for a movie, just to enjoy a piece of music?
Actually, everything I compose for myself.
Yeah.
I sit on a piano sometimes and then start playing something, and they're like voice notes with just piano and just voice, like some 150 unsorted ones. So when I get time on the flight, I go and I'll start chopping them. Oh, I like it from 34 seconds to then start naming it. And you never know, because the context of what we're doing it is also different. Like, oh, I was on the plane, I was on the plane traveling to this place, high, and then recorded this tune. So I'll understand, oh, that's why it is like this.
You know, you of course have redefined film music. You were the first one who started composing music on computer. And then you've been working on latest gadgets. We have seen many in your concerts. And with Firdaus Orchestra and Sunshine Orchestra, with which you actually wanted to put Indian Symphony Orchestra on world map. So would you please like to talk to us today about the joy and energy of directing 100 musicians and composing music in a room full of so many people?
So
what's his gadgets?
So let me tell you, technology actually is a tool.
Okay.
It's just a tool. And with now internet and everything, you don't have to go through the stuff and take a pencil and start doing stuff. You can get the same kind of results. Of course, organic, like when you type, you think about a word and you do it. So there's something connected to your brain, thinking hard to find the right. Right now, if you type it on your iPad, you can do anything and delete it off. There's no sense of, tension in it. Same way when you're playing a piano and when you're writing on the score, there's a kind of tension. I don't want to waste the ink, and your mind is very careful about writing the notes. So I like that whole method. Sometimes having the piano and doing it organically, and then editing that, and then redoing it. Some songs taken 3 days for finding the chords. Like there's a song called Enga Pona Rasa from Marian Bharat Bada's movie, which I just thought this song can go somewhere else, and I couldn't go to that. The next day again we sat and jammed. The next day again we jammed. Then finally found that the magic of that. What was it? So,
last year at the Grammy Awards, we spotted you with your son. Does he remind you of yourself and when you were young? And is he like his dad, very passionate about music?
He is passionate, but at that age, he doesn't have any compelling duty to sit and to make music. He knows that it's there, it'll come, but it'll come at a certain time. I think he's just 20 now, and he does, jam with me sometimes. But I also want him to enjoy life. Like, I never had a childhood, so I want him to go play and meet friends, and he's a good kid, so yeah, I'm fine with it.
Sir, there's a lot of buzz around the song Natu Natu from the film RRR, which actually bagged an Academy nomination in the Best Original Song category. You are a 2-time Oscar Award winner. You are a much revered name in the West. You have already cast your vote. We saw that Instagram post of yours. What are the key elements you think that draw the attention of Academy members when they vote for a song in this category?
It's not easy for them to, beyond all the prejudice and beyond all the, underlying racism and everything which is there, unfortunately, even though they don't talk about it, it's there. For a movie to go to reach that level is a big achievement. I think they've done a tremendous job. And I'd put a video called The Future Proof from the foundation, saying that if we don't push a culture and have the sense of pride and present it to the world is going to be in a very condescending way to Indian culture. And it was 2 years back. It's called Future Proof. You can check it on my channel. Yeah. And when this happened, I felt like, oh, the manifestation in a way, even if it's a tiny bit, has worked out. And because this going and people dancing in the Greek theatre or whatever, China theatre, is a huge achievement. And so they're not like apologetic about dancing, the Telugu beat or Indian beat. They're like, well, this is my movie, and then it's a cinematic. So people appreciate for what it is, and that's a huge thing. That should happen again and again in our country. I think every state, every industry, Tamil industry and Malayalam industry and Kannada industry and Hindi and Punjabi and Bengali, each should take over and create excellence, and that's a good, because this industry is the most inspiring industry, and when you push it and we become leaders, it's going to be amazing.
What is it about Natu Natu you think that find a connection with the Western
There
audiences?
are many things actually. I would say, first of all, Keeravani is a great composer, and he's underrated. He was underrated, and the irony of see what life is like. It's such a great case study. I believe, I don't know, it's true. I believe that he wanted to quit music and retire in 2015. It's exactly when his career started, being noticed for what he is. So it's for anyone who thinks that their life is over. Maybe that is the point where you have to start to live your life. And this is a great example. I keep telling my children, see, that the gentleman who was working for 35 years, he wanted to quit, but then his career actually started at that point. And now it's going to go much further. And he's won a Golden Globe already and is nominated for the Oscars. So I feel that art is the most beautiful thing. Yeah.
Do you see RRR bagging the Oscar for?
I wanted to bag it. It's anything Indian should be ruling the world. So yes, all my prayers, love for RRR.
So what changed post the Oscar win for you? More offers?
Not about offers. It's
Acknowledgement?
yeah. No, I could go to Iran and they respect you. I could go to China. They respect. I can go anywhere, and also why not India is always excluded from the race.
Yeah.
So that way I felt like for the fellow Indians, for all the musicians, for all the people who give love to my music, I think it's a kind of acknowledgement and testimonial thing. And so I was, if not, I'm okay. I like awards, but it's not just for that. And as a cliche that you don't work for awards. Awards has to follow you.
Yeah.
Sometimes your most beautiful work might get noticed after like 50 years or 40 years. Who cares? As long as you're true to that stuff.
So we are sitting in your studio. Studio has always been a place of great stories. Would you today like to share some of the quirkiest story from one of your recordings? The one that always makes you smile or laugh.
The recent one would be like there was the movie Mom.
Yeah.
I was doing, and then I think we had rehearsal and Jonita Gandhi was there with us. So I said, hey Jonita, can you also do this little cue I'm doing? It's and she says, yes sir, no problem. And she was sitting there, and then I was in the other studio, and then suddenly I had an idea, when Sridevi is murdering, that happened, revenge thing happens, can we just make a sample like you're screaming from the mind. So I said, you just scream, and then I'm going to make it as a sample and repeat that again and again. So my other assistant was sleeping, and he heard this stuff and started running. What happened? What happened? So that was I think the last quirky one I remember was that one.
I do this segment called My First. I just want to request you to please give us some snappy, cool answers. Which was the first album that you fell in love with?
I think it was a Bach, switched on Bach, played on the Moog by Wendy Carlos. He was Walter Carlos before and became Wendy Carlos later. So that I don't know what about that, the fugue and all the stuff was my first.
Do you remember when and how you picked up a musical instrument for the first time?
My major, change which empowered me to be what I am was a trip to Singapore where I bought my first sampler called S50 Roland and the microcomposer and all that. So that changed the whole, yeah.
Do you remember when you realized you wanted to be a singer for the first time? Singer.
I didn't want to. Like, it was on Maniratnamji. Like, I had done a to just check on Dil Hai Chota Sa, like I did one humming and I wanted to change it, of course. So I put that in as a temp and I played it to him. So I said, don't listen to that voice, I want to change it. He said, whose voice is that? It's mine, keep it. I said, please don't embarrass me. No, I want that, I like it, I'm going to keep it. Then he said, you have to sing this song, Hama Hama. Then again, another thing is like when Tera Bina happened, I had put Qadari's voice, Qadari Mustafa, and I loved his voice. he went to the shooting. If you don't sing the song, I was fasting for Ramadan that time. You have to finish it in 3 hours, send me the song. I'm not going to shoot the song, he said. Then during Ramadan fasting, just 1 hour before opening the fast, I sang Tere Bila. So he's been amazing as an encouragement. And then Pia Haji Ali was a song which I wanted to do because the first time when I came to Mumbai, I went to Haji Ali Saab, and then said I want to do and Khalid Saab said, can you do he said do a muqabla. I said, what are the other songs? Each composer was doing one song that day for him because they were friends. And he said, there is a Qawwali. I said, can I do the Qawwali?
Wow.
Then I said, okay.
Do you remember when you performed live for the first time?
Yes. My first performance was in a church when I was 13. So I had a teacher called Moses. And he and his son and me, we performed this. I think it was O Come All Ye Faithful.
Do you remember when you heard your song in public for the first time?
Ads, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. Leo Coffee and All in Trendy and all coming on TV. That was cool. And also, I think, when I was 13, 14, I had played on Doordarshan, the Wonder Balloon program. So I was kind of famous all over India because, that kid with a lot of keyboards, because I had the keyboards. So even while walking, they recognized me that, he's the one.
So which song was that?
I think Raj Kapoor, Ilayaraja Saab's songs, and Suhana Safar, and Surme Akhiyon Mein, that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And finally, is Maa Tujhe Salam, is that one song that you mostly like to end your concerts with? Would you say that's also your favorite patriotic song?
It was done with so much of love, without any hesitation or any kind of thing. So even when we play today, it's made for my voice in a way, and I've not sung it in a more perfect way, but people love the passion, including Lataji, and we've spoken about it. And even now when we perform, there's some kind of magic which happens on stage. And so we used to do Jai Ho before, now we've gone back to Natu Natu.
Would you like to give me a few lines of it?
तेरे पास ही मैं आ रहा हूँ, अपने बाहों खोल दे, जोर से मुझको गले लगा ले, मुझको फिर हो प्यार दे.
How nice. And finally, last year in August, you completed 30 years at the movies. Your film Roja was released on August 15, 1992. One thing which has been common in all your songs is the timeless quality. Today, when you look back, how would you like to describe the first decade of A.R. Rahman? In that first 10 years, you gave us music for films like Bombay, Rangila, Dil Se Zubeda, and Lagan.
I think I was very lucky that there was no internet. There was no piracy of people making the MP3, or people bought the music, so they knew the value of owning something. So the memory of the music to their life's love and hope, and all that stuff actually makes those audience even more closer now. Sometimes what happens is they take that, and without knowing, they're doing a damage of saying, this is the best he has done. And I did that because I wanted to do that. I'm doing what I'm doing now is for another generation. Yeah. So when Spotify revealed all the data, I was looking at Twitter, and most of the songs so I've listened to it like 1,000 hours, and they're all the new songs for the past 6-7 years. And then I realized, if I don't have a strong mind, I could get confused. It could bring your morale down, it could bring your self-esteem down. And so I'm grateful to this audience and that audience, so it's fine.
Rahman sir, many thanks for your time, and wishing you a lot of success in all your ventures. Thank you so much, and best of luck.
Thank you.